Hey y'all, welcome to my kitchen. For anybody who's never been to my house. I hate it that you can't actually see the whole width of my kitchen because I have you on portrait mode just because it's easier for Facebook videos. This is gonna be my first official Facebook video. That's why I started this new page over here, and I just figured that I would launch it with a cooking video for y'all. But for Facebook, it's best when you have this portrait mode. Usually on my YouTube, we have landscape. But anyways, we're gonna make this work. So welcome to my kitchen. Today, I'm gonna be sharing with y'all the best roast recipe that I have found yet. And it's in the crock pot, super easy. You just throw everything in. It takes you like 2 minutes to mix everything up and throw it in. You let it sit all day long, like 6 to 8 hours, however long you want to. I'll show you how long that I let mine sit. But it is so good, y'all. I swear. I have even shared this with family members, and I have tried every different way in the book. My go-to recipe was the ranch packet, the Italian seasoning, and the gravy mixed with like water or beef broth. Now that one's good. You can try that one too, but it is not as packed with flavor as this one. I like a real meaty, I like that gravy taste. You know, I want it, if it's gonna be a roast recipe, I want it to be authentic, okay? I don't want any of that Italian seasoning or anything. I just kind of got sick of that, and I'm like, you know, I want that real, that good thick gravy in there. So I'm also going to show you, once the roast is ready and everything and all those good juices are in there, I'm gonna show y'all how to make the best gravy ever. Anyways, let's get started. So I have kind of some things over here. We'll show y'all what we're gonna be working with. So I have got a rump roast, and this was a little bit more than the other roast. You can get like a top round roast or whatever, but I love the rump roast only because I have tried it with a couple other ones, and I just love this one. It's the most tender. Bless you, Kane. Bless you. Kane's right here next to me playing. If y'all hear him, just don't mind him. But this rump roast is the one that I picked out. So our roast, and then I have a carton of beef broth. I'm going to go over to my spice cabinet over here and show y'all. And look at my beautiful red crock pot. I love this thing. But this is my cabinet, so ignore it. It is a little messy right now, but usually it's not. Okay, so I have a box of French onion soup, and this comes with 2 packs in here, or 2 little envelopes, and then I have 1 packet of gravy mix. This is the Dixie brand. You can use anything. Walmart brand, Publix brand, name brand, McCormick's, whatever. You can use anything. That doesn't really matter. Got my packet of gravy. I'm going to take out one of these envelopes of French onion soup. I also have a, here's the beef carton, a little cup, Zambrina, mom life, and this little whisk. I got these little whisks from the Dollar Tree, y'all, and I freaking love them. They're so amazing. But anyways, we are going to bring that over here. Okay, and I will just show y'all how easy this is about to be, because y'all will be going home and making this right away. I'm serious. So it is like 10 o'clock right now. 10 o'clock, I'm gonna put it on, and then the kids don't get home till like 6, and so it'll be done. It should be done right around then if I do it on low for like, you know, the 6 to 8 hour time. But you could do it a little quicker than that, and you can just turn it off. And also, another thing that I wanted to say, in the past, I always added potatoes and carrots and onions and everything in there, but this one, I just do it so simple with these packets and stuff, because the carrots and the potatoes actually change the taste of the roast and the gravy and everything to me. I don't want that. I want that authentic meat gravy taste. I told y'all that. I had a craving for it, and no, I just had a normal craving. There ain't no more babies coming, but I had a craving for it, and once I found this recipe, I was like, oh Lord Jesus, thank you Jesus, this is what I've been waiting on. Here, let me get mine. Okay, so I'm gonna also tell y'all, if you are living in 2021 and you have not got slow cooker liners, crock pot liners for your crock pot, what are you doing? Throw the whole crock pot away. We need to throw you away because you're doing it wrong. Let me tell you, and I have tested this, it does not change the taste. I know people say that it changes the taste on things. That is not true. So you get look at this thing. Oh, and make sure you get the right size, because one time I bought these and I was so happy because I found them so much cheaper. Look at that fly. Is he serious? Anyways, I found them so much cheaper. I was so happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are like $3 cheaper than normal, whatever. I got home, I got the mini Crockpot bags. Like, I mean, I have a mini Crockpot, but it's for like dips and stuff, like for a party. I think I've used it one time in the 5 years that I've had it. So make sure, this is a normal size Crockpot. There's 8 liners in here. 13 inches by 21 inches is what you need. Nothing smaller than that, because it's perfect size. I'm gonna show y'all. So you just put this liner on, and just like that, you just push it down. Make sure you pour it down over the sides and everything. And no, it won't cause a fire, catch on fire or anything. I've been so worried about that for the longest time, especially if you watch This Is Us. I don't play around with the Crockpot no more. I'm like, okay, I'm not leaving the house for a long time. I ain't putting things in the Crockpot at night. No, that show scarred me. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna show y'all. This is so easy. I promise. You're gonna be like, thank you so much, Casey. I really appreciate you. Okay, let me get my roast out here. And this thing's disgusting, so I don't really even want to touch it. But I just dump that bad boy in there. Oh my gosh, it is so big. In your cup, in a little cup, you're gonna take your packet of French onion soup mix, pour that in there. And then your other packet of the gravy, the brown gravy, pour that in there. And then, looks like that. You're gonna put, I'm almost out of this beef broth, but I think there is probably about a cup in here. So I'm just gonna put a cup. Really, you just want enough to mix up the contents of those packages. You don't really need a ton. You don't want it to be like really soupy. I just have enough in here so I can mix it up. So you're just gonna get your little whisk and just mix that bad boy up. And really, I'll show y'all too what I like to do, because so the French onion soup, if you never used it, it actually has little dried onions in there, and I love them because when I pour this over the roast, I like to make sure that the onions get on top of the roast and that they stay on the roast. Since I'm not putting like a whole large onion in there like I normally would, I like for these to sit on top of the roast while it's cooking, because then like it'll kind of soak in there. And oh, this is so good, I promise y'all. All you do is just, I pour it right on top of the meat. You don't have to get crazy. You don't have to pour it over or all over the place. You want it to be right on the meat. And then here, yep, all my onions. So see, they're even all stuck in there. And I'm going to be pulling them down just like this. Okay. And I will pull this over here and show y'all. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Seriously. Okay. Look at that. Okay, so these are all the onions that were in the packet, and this is what I'm talking about. I just let it get on there, and when it's sitting for all that time, when you open the lid, I'll show you in a minute, but when you open the lid after a few hours, it's made like a crust in there. Oh, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, for this day. It is so good. And I'm just gonna put it, it's already on low, so let me plug it in. Probably should have had it off and then turn it on, but whatever. So, that's it. Here's the time. It is exactly 10 o'clock. I promise I did not plan that, but yes, exactly 10 o'clock. And I will come back. The first #1 rule of Crockpots is you are not allowed to open the lid for like at least an hour and a half after you put it on, okay? That first hour and a half is crucial for all of the heat and the juices and all of that in there. So do not do anything for the first hour and a half. And I will come back. I'm gonna come back actually at 12, and I will show y'all what it's looking like in there. Let me show y'all. See that? How those onions are just starting to brown a little bit, and they just make a great crust. And all the juices in the bottom, they're all coming together. It's gonna be so good. So this is a big boy. Let me tell you, that is a big roast. So I am gonna do the 8 hours, I guess, and I'll probably pull him off out of there at 6, and then I will show y'all how we're going to make our gravy. Okay, hey y'all, we are back, and it is nearly 6 o'clock now, so it's been in here for 8 hours. I only opened it that one time to show y'all, so I'm about to open it again. Let me get a fork. And I'm just warning you, I just picked up the kids from school, so y'all gonna hear some yelling in a minute. It is, you could just pull it right apart with the fork. Okay, so now that the roast is ready, we're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna show y'all how we're going to use these juices and these drippings to make the best gravy ever. For our gravy, I put 3 tablespoons of butter in here. It all depends on the size of your crowd, the size of your roast, how much gravy you want. And then I have the same cup that I used, the Bamberino one earlier. I am just going to get a ladle. And I don't know if y'all can even see me in the background, but I have a ladle just like this. And I'm gonna take some of these drippings out of here. You can do as much or as little as you want to. Or you can completely remove the roast and just take them all out of there. But our butter is melting, and I have these drippings right here on the side. I have 1 tablespoon of flour. So the flour is gonna help thicken up your gravy. So I'm just gonna put this in here. And then again, with my little whisk, just gonna whisk that all around. Turn this down. I was trying to get that to melt super fast so I could show y'all. And depending on how thick you want your gravy, you can add more or less flour. I'm just showing you how I do it. This is like a cup of gravy drippings that I have here, and that was 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of flour. And so now I'm going to pour in my drippings, and you will just whisk those up and mix it all up, mix it all together. That is begging to go on some mashed potatoes. For the corn, we have shoved them and put them in here, and I broke them in half, and so I filled it up with water just until all of them were covered and they're floating a little. I'm going to put just a little bit of milk in there, and probably like a half a cup maybe, and then a 3/4 of a stick of butter. I don't want to put the whole thing because that would make me feel a little fat, but I'll just put 3/4. And then I have this on high over here, so we're just going to let this boil, let everything get together, and then we'll come back and check on that. Okay, we're back. So I have corn going, I made the gravy, I have the potatoes getting ready. I'm gonna be making mashed potatoes with those, and everything in the Crockpot is done. Blake's supposed to be coming over to eat with us, so he's like ridiculously honest, so he'll be able to let y'all know if this roast is good or not. I'm making macaroni because Matt just asked for that, so let me go get that, and I'll show y'all how we do a super simple stovetop macaroni that has beat all of the other extremely difficult ones that I've tried in the past. You want to say hey to them? Say hey. Can you do a dance for us? What is that? All right. I'm just getting another pot. I'm gonna be doing dishes for like 10 days. Drain these potatoes, and then I'll show y'all what we're gonna do next. Okay, so I wanted to show y'all, this is what the corn's doing right now. So it is bubbling and everything's getting nice and tender and juicy. And that's what I wanted to say about the milk too. It does that. I've just seen such a difference. I had somebody tell me to use milk, and I love it. It makes such a difference. So I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in there. I like to use this big one whenever I'm doing that, but just a little. Just like that. And I'm just gonna let that go for just a little bit longer. You do not have to cook corn for an incredibly long time. It's super easy. Corn is like the easiest, like cheapest thing ever. Like, get you some corn.
Okay, so you are going to want to add 3/4 of a stick of melted butter to this and then beat it with your hand mixer. And then you are going to get about 2 cups of whole milk, and you want to go ahead and heat that up too for about 1 minute. Keeping both of these things hot before you put them in there. I was recently just taught by Miss Brenda, if y'all watch her, that will keep your potatoes hot and it keeps them from going cold, because you know potatoes go cold so fast. And you can put as much milk as you want. I like this consistency right here.
Okay, we interrupt this program to let y'all know this is not a diet dinner. No calories will be left behind tonight. Sorry, I have to whisper because if the kids know I'm in here without them, they're going to come in here.
Okay, stovetop macaroni. So I have just put in 2 of the tablespoons of cream cheese, and then now I'm just putting salt and pepper in to taste. And I like to add this Obodo seasoning as well. This is just a preference of mine. But I'm also going to add a little bit of heavy cream to it. I just like the consistency that it gives. And then after that, I'm going to follow it up with about 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese. And then you just mix all of that up. And like I said, you can add whatever other seasonings or however much salt and pepper you want. But that is it, y'all. And it makes perfect stovetop macaroni and cheese.